In this video, we'll be learning about logarithms. Now, we can see that we've written here 2 to the power of 3 equals to 8. Now, when we write this, there are a couple of things to keep in mind. 2 is known as the base, and we're raising this base to the power of 3. And this number 3 here is known as the exponent. But this is also known as the logarithm. So I'll just write logarithm. And so we can actually rewrite this in a form known as the logarithmic form. And the way we would do this is as follows. We would write log base 2 of 8 is equal to 3. Now, what we notice here is the following. We notice that the logarithm has a base, which in this case is 2, and the value of the logarithm, which in this case is 3, is equal to the exponent, or the power, at which we would need to raise 2 to obtain 8. I'll say that again. The value of log base 2 of 8 is equal to 3, and that value 3 is the power at which we would need to raise 2 to obtain 8. Now, a more generic way of saying that would be to write the following. Given any base b, well, if log base b of a is equal to x, then b raised to the power of x will equal to a. Now, in fact, I'm going to go ahead and box that result, and I would strongly suggest you make a note of it. It's very important when working with logarithms. Remember, this top notation here would be the logarithmic expression, logarithmic, and the bottom one would be the exponential form, or exponential expression. Now, let's go ahead and look at some examples. For instance, let's say we were asked to evaluate or calculate by hand log base 3 of 9. Well, what this is asking us to find is the power at which we would need to raise 3 to find 9. And it shouldn't take us too long before answering 2. So log base 3 of 9 equals to 2, since 3, the base, raised to the power of 2 equals to 9. Another example could be log base 10 of, say, 10,000. Well, in this case, this is asking us to which power do we need to raise the base 10 for it to equal to 10,000. And this would equal to 4. And the reason for this is that 10, the base, raised to the power of 4, equals to 10,000. And of course, we could have some slightly more complicated examples. Let's see. We could be given the following. Log base 2 of 1 over 8. Well, in this case, this would equal to negative 3. And the reason for this is because 2, the base, raised to the power of negative 3, equals to 1 over 2 to the power of 3, which is equal to 1 over 8. And there you go. That's our first video on logarithms. The important thing to remember here is that when we write log base b of a equals to x, as we've done here, what this is telling us is that if we raise the base b to the power of x, then it will be equal to a.